Today I'm going to be installing an e-fuel kit by Mark Fugazzotto. I bought it off his Facebook store. We'll see how it goes. Right now the truck just has a mechanical fuel system in it. Loses fuel pressure as soon as you stand on the throttle. As you can see, just plummets. So this is supposed to fix that problem and hopefully help the truck run better. So this is the e-fuel system that I purchased. It comes with the filter, frame assembly, the Bosch fuel pump. Everything's pre-wired, torqued, it's set up. All the fittings are in the correct direction where you'll need them to go. Here is the fuel bowl delete block that goes under your hood. Replaces your factory mechanical system with the fuel filter under the hood. Comes with new fuel lines, a freeze plug to go in place of where your mechanical pump came up out of the motor where the cam is. It comes with the new fuel pressure regulator, spring and filter. All the parts are supplied in the kit. Nothing you need to buy, nothing you need to do. You just buy the whole kit and it's ready to bolt into your truck. Comes with, new underhood fuel hoses to go from your factory fuel lines to the fuel block, and the same goes for the piece that mounts on the frame. New rubber fuel lines to connect to the steel line that you're going to cut on the frame of the truck when you put in your fuel filter system. So we're going to get started and see how it goes. Your factory mechanical fuel pump system, fuel bowl assembly. What I started first by doing is taking the intake spider out. It's just a couple of 5/16 nut driver that you'll use to take those hose clamps off and pull that up and out. And you got to make sure that you put rags or gloves or something over the intake plenum holes there in the turbo. You don't want anything falling down in there. Well, I got the plunger assembly out. The plunger's still on the end of it. What I ended up doing was taking wire snips or metal cutters, like in Mark's video, cutting the back of the banjo bolt. I was able to get the nut off for the fuel line at the back of the driver's side head. And then on the passenger side one, I just got in there and I was able to cut it, and then I'll just take it out with a deep socket. But by wiggling it side to side, like 10 to 2, and rotating it and pulling up with even pressure, after you unbolted it, it popped right out, just like Mark said. So we'll go ahead and get the freeze plug in and clean up this fuel mess in here. Okay, so I went ahead and installed my fuel pressure sensor in the top of the fuel block. Or if you don't have a fuel pressure sender, you can put your Schrader valve back in there. And then in the front, I pulled the brass plug, which is where your FPR is on your stock fuel bowl, and put the new spring and siphon piece in, and the O-ring that comes in the kit that's supplied. It's a factory international part, comes in the kit. And while I had everything out of the engine bay, I went ahead and used, like Mark said, a 9/16 deep wall socket. Got back in there and took the original piece out that I had cut. So I got the new fuel line in there. You kind of have to finagle it and use your fingertips to get the nut started and leave everything loose. Same with the driver's side one. I fed it in from the back, so feed in from the firewall side, leave everything loose. So you have your two fuel lines sitting down there where you're going to be ready to bolt your fuel block in, and then you can hook everything up. So the fuel block is installed under the hood, the AN fitting on the fuel line. All the lines are tight at the back of the heads. everything's hooked up. All I can say is these front two lines here that come from the front of your heads, the driver's side and the passenger side, get those tight before you actually drop the fuel block down in there, because there's not a whole lot of room behind your H-pop to get those tight with the 9/16 wrench. Other than that, everything was bolt in just like Mark said in the video. So I didn't really continue the step-by-step like I was doing before, but here it is mounted under the truck. It's a crew cab long bed. I did it right behind the transfer case on the driver's side frame rail. And it's important that when you go to cut these lines, the steel lines, you pinch the rubber line right there where it comes off the selector valve, because otherwise you're gonna have a big fuel mess like I did. And yeah, I just put the AN fittings in where Mark said. I cut about 27 inches off of it, ran the power wires up into the up under the hood, and it's holding steady, good fuel pressure, so it was a good deal overall. Well worth the 675 bucks. You can see that kinda, it's just above 80, about 85 pounds of fuel pressure at idle. Substantially better than it was before. Learn a lot and drive it.